Hello everyone and welcome to all our Catholic families, to the grandparents, parents, and especially the little saints watching with their parents. Thank you for being here. Today is a special day. We are finally going to unbox the limited edition of the Holy Quest, an adventure in faith, which is designed to bring your family together around the table for fun, faithful learning experience and entertainment. I would like you to understand that this isn't just an ordinary game. It's a family heirloom. So why don't we just dive right into it and open the box and see what is inside. What we're looking at right now here in this video is a limited edition prototype of the game. So this is not the actual game you'll be getting, but this game shows you here what is gonna be inside the limited edition box. So as you can see, it has printed limited edition on top of the box. And before I open the box, I will show you what is on the bottom, because that's kind of important. So with the limited edition box, you have a number. There's going to be a special sticker with the number of the box, and we are only printing 1,000 copies of this. There will never ever be any more made of the limited edition, so those who buy the game early will get a lower number. So that makes it a little bit more special than the standard version of the game. And as you can see, it has a LE printed on top as well. So on the size of the box, you have the Holy Quest LE. So that is different from the standard game, which is not going to have that. So why don't we just dive right into it and see what is inside the box, and we will show you all the premium components. And before I even go into that, I want to show you that this box is actually about twice as thick as your standard game boxes are. The thickness of this box is 2 millimeters and just a little bit over that. So most games on the market today are only about 1 millimeter thick. So the box is much more sturdy, it's more durable, it will last you for ages. So we're gonna go and open it and see what is inside. Set that apart, aside. So the first thing you see when you open the box, you will see what we call a token sheet, and this is really what the actual pawns in the game are. You can punch them out, and they will be used as pawns for all the players. There are 4 religious orders in the game. They are color coded, so you have the green one, which is the Franciscans. The red is the Dominicans. We have a blue one for the Jesuits and the yellow for Carmelites. So all the saints you see here, there are 16 of them, are basically representing one of the 4 religious orders. Then in the limited edition, what you also get is a certificate of authenticity, and that has a number as well. So in this case, I'm showing you the prototype version of the game. So we only made 5 of them, so this is number 1 out of 5. But normally when you buy a limited edition version, you will see a number, let's say like 0050, so 50 out of 1000. So this number will match the number on the bottom of the box that I showed you earlier. The next thing you see is a beautiful leather dice tray. This is for rolling your dice and preventing them from knocking things over on the board. And this is something that you can just snap. So I'll do that for you right now. And it forms a hexagonal shape for you. And the other thing I want to show you is on the bottom of it is a beautiful gold foil stamped logo of the game. So this is very nice, very high quality premium material. So it has a leather texture, and then it's like inside is very nice and soft. So we'll put that aside. You get 3 different printed materials with the game. So I'll show you them in order. So let's say the first one here is the game rules, and that is a 16-page booklet which shows you everything about the game. So it starts with listing the components and what's in the box, describing all of them. It talks about the tiles on the board, so that we'll get to that in a moment. Different parts of the board and how to understand them. Then it talks about the cards in the game and what they do. It gives you the basic rules. And then there are modes of play. There are like 15 or 14 plus ways to play the game. So this discusses all of those. And it can be a little bit overwhelming at first because there are so many ways to play the game, but it all depends on the age of the players. So if the children, for younger children, there are simpler ways to play the game, and for older children, adults, we have some more complicated, more advanced ways to play with trivia questions about the saints, so you actually learn about the lives of the saints. So that explains all that. We have a page devoted to upcoming games in the future, and then some credits on the back. So this is a beautiful laminated booklet. Then we have something that we call the Quick Start Guide, and we made this to help parents to get started with the game much faster. And this goes through like different steps. So for example, the step 1 is you determine the age of your children and the players, and then it guides you to how to pick the best way to play the game. So let's say your children are ages 5 to 8, then once you go through all the steps, step number 4 tells you for children that are ages 5 to 8, you can play in the easy play mode or a simple play mode, and explains to you what those are, and then it points you to the page in the rules book. So like for example, for easy play mode, you go to page 10 and then it tells you all about that. So you don't have to read the entire rules book to get started with the game. So this hopefully will help you get started with the game very quickly, and you will get right into it. There's also a booklet which has information on the 4 religious orders. This is not really part of the game, it's just for information purposes. On page 1 you have the Dominican religious order, followed by the Franciscans, Carmelites, and Jesuits. And we just recommend that you read one of them before you start your game, just to learn about the saints that are part of the order that you pick for the game. The limited edition version also comes with a movie-like poster, and this is only exclusive to the limited edition. If you buy the standard version, you don't get this. And so we made this to look like a movie poster, except instead of the actors, you have the actual saints. So this is something very nice. It's beautiful, it's large, and this is something you can put on your wall. So this is very exclusive. And then what you have is the board, and this board is really beautiful. So when it's folded, it's 1 by 1 foot by 1 foot square. It has a beautiful leather texture. It's kind of like reddish brown, and then it has a gold foil stamped logo of the game on the back. So we'll get into that in a moment, but I'm gonna put that up aside, and we'll go into what's inside the box as well for the components. So you get a velvet bag that's filled with different components. So let's put that out and see what's inside. So first of all, you have little bases for the pawns. So this is where you will insert your pawns from the token sheet, and they will become your actual players in the game. So every player has 4 pawns for the game. So there are 4 green ones, 4 yellow ones, 4 red, and 4 blue. We have 10 little clips which are transparent, and these are what we call the ice markers. And the purpose for these is to freeze your opponent. So there are ways in the game that you can freeze someone and they are not able to move until they unfreeze themselves. So you get 10 of these. You also get 4 what we call alliance tokens, and these are like casino grade, very high quality chips made of clay, and each one is for one of the 4 religious orders. So you will see the crest of the Dominicans, the Franciscans, the Carmelites, and the Jesuits. And these are used in the game to form alliances, for teamwork play, or for scoring, depending on which mode you select when you play. So we'll put that aside. You can also see the insert of the game has a beautiful gold foil logo stamped on it. We have 2 golden brass dice, which are a little bit heavier than your normal dice, and what you use them for is when you roll and play the game. Sometimes you roll 1, sometimes you roll 2, depending on which version of the game you play, which play mode. And so you can use the dice tray, which is completely optional, but it's recommended, and you can roll your dice inside of it. So that's how that works. Then we have cards, and the game comes with 4 types of cards. And we will show you all of them one type at a time. So here we have what we call the direction card, and there's a blue arrow that says clockwise, and there's a red arrow that says counterclockwise. And basically the way that's used is you can change the direction of play during the game, or you can just set it at one direction. So you can determine, for example, that you want to play in a counterclockwise direction for the entire game, and you will place that card on the board to indicate that. Then you have this is what's called a scoring card, and it has 2 sides. So this tells you basically how to calculate your score at the end of each game, and this is only relevant for when you keep score in a game. Not every play mode requires you to keep score, so if you wish to play with a score count, you can use this as a cheat sheet, so to speak, to figure out your score at the end of the game, and the player with the highest score would win in that case. Then you have a set of action cards. So these cards are basically they have the game logo on the back side, and on the face of the card, I'm gonna flip one here for you. So this is card number 8, and it has a instruction on what to do. So you perform a certain sort of action. This one in this case is double dice roll, so you will roll both dice. So this is an example, like if you play with a single die and you get this card, you can pick up the second die and roll 2 dice to get your count, and that would be the number of spaces you move on the board. So there are 12 different actions, and there are 3 cards per action. So there are 36 action cards total. And what you do in the beginning of the game, you actually have to shuffle them and set them in a specific area on the board, which we're gonna go over in a moment. So let me put this aside. And then what you have is saint cards. So these are all color-coded as well. So here are the red ones for the Dominicans. So you have 4 Dominicans in the game. And these are beautiful cards. They are much thicker than your average game cards. They're like much thicker and sturdy. They have gold foil stamped on all the corners. They have some spot UV coating to make it shine. Like for example, the crest on the card, this is the Dominican crest, is UV coated, so it's nice and shiny. On the back of the cards, you have the saint biography and all the different facts about the saint. So for example, like when they were born, when they died, when they were canonized, what age they were, the patronage and representations. So there's all this information about every saint, and this is used in the game when you play the trivia mode. We call it the challenge mode. Then what you do is you have to answer questions about the saints, and this helps you to learn as you play. So this is more geared towards older players, children who are at least 8 years old. So for the younger kids, they don't have to answer any questions, but you have these beautiful saint cards. So there are 16 saints in the game, 4 per each religious order or each color. And then the limited edition is special because it comes with an expansion pack already included. If you get the standard version of the game, you have to buy this separately. But what's inside of this is really nice because first of all you get 4 sheet tokens, token sheets, I'm sorry, and they give you 4 more pawns, so you have new saints to play with. And remember, so you always play with 4 saints per game, so now you have 8 saints per religious order. So for example, if you're Dominican, you have 4 from the original game, and then you have 4 from the expansion pack, so you have a total of 8, but you only pick 4 per game, so now you have some choices. So that's really nice because you now have 32 saints, and in addition to that, it comes with 4 more cards per religious order, so you get 32 saints total in the game, and each one has again the biography. And so now you can play with 32 saints. It makes the game much more challenging and more difficult to complete. It may actually add a little bit of time to gameplay itself, but also you will have a much better learning experience. You're going to get to know much more about the different saints from each religious order. So 32 saints versus 16 in the standard game. And this is really all the contents for the game, and I'm gonna open the board for you and show you a little bit about that. So this is a beautiful, very large board. When it's fully open, it's actually 24 by 24 inches, so it's 2 feet by 2 feet. It's a really beautiful premium board, and what you do is, if you can see, so here is the Jesuit home base, which has a Jesuit crest on it, and this is where you start all your pawns. I'll take the pawns here. We will, for example, take Saint Ignatius, and we can take a blue base for him, and we will insert that, and then he can be set on the board as a pawn. And this is how you play. When you play the game, the children are actually, and the players are actually the real saints. These are very high quality. The image you see here is a stained glass photograph from a church. So all the pawns have stained glass images of different saints printed on both sides. And this is using like a linen textured paper, so it's very high quality paper. It has a texture feel to it, and you know, when you insert that and you play on the board with these pawns, you actually have, instead of just regular pawns like most games have, these are much more personalized pawns. So I think that pretty much sums up everything about the game itself. The board is really nice. This is a prototype, but the actual board is also printed on linen paper for the game, and it has a gold foil logo of the game stamped on it as well. So you're really looking at a very high quality premium product here, and this should give you some kind of an idea that we're not talking about your average game. This is much more than just an average game. We wanted to use the best kind of materials for this, just for the longevity of the game itself, plus also to make you feel really special when you play this game. So because we want to give all the glory to God, and the best way to do that is to give it our best. And so that's why we have the golden dice, that's why we use linen paper, that's why we use leather and things like that, and velvet, you know, something that is more than just an average type of a component. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and this gives you a very good idea of what you get when you purchase this game. So thank you for watching, and please back us, and also, you know, spread the word. Put us on social media, put a link to our campaign, to our game website, and just help us to reach as many children as possible, as many families as possible, in terms of evangelizing and bringing the faith to the forefront. Our beautiful Catholic faith with all of God's saints that we use in the game that give him all the glory and honor. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.